Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. As we near Halloween, I felt that I should share my Mego horror action figure collection. And I will do that here in a few minutes. Now, Mego has been producing these figures since they came back. But I remember some of the original monster figures that Mego had produced back in the 70s, and they are quite different compared to what is being produced now. Now, I don't have all the figures. I just have some of the ones that have interested me. So let's take a look at my Mego horror collection. Mego has done some great horror action figures, and they've done some that are just generic. They're not really tied to a particular movie. The first one that I'm going to show off here is a werewolf figure that is flocked. It is a flocked action figure. You can see this one here is the werewolf. Again, let's take a look at his face, and you get to see the flocking on this particular action figure. That is the werewolf action figure. Another one that they did was an Egyptian mummy. Here is the Egyptian mummy figure. And again, we get to look at some of the details on this figure, the face sculpt. This is the Egyptian mummy. They also did one from the 1964 film Face of the Screaming Werewolf, starring Lon Chaney Jr. This is the version of the werewolf, and we get to see the face sculpt on this particular action figure here. And when Mego restarted producing action figures, they were going exclusively through Target. And one of the figures, or the first figures that I actually purchased that really caught my eye, was this particular Frankenstein's monster figure. Here he is. It's quite different from the Universal one, which has more detail in it. But here we have some of the generic monster figures from Mego. From Universal's 1956 film, The Mole People, we have this figure. Again, look at his hands and his face sculpt. The Mole People. This one is another one of my favorite action figures from Mego. It is from the 1922 film Nosferatu. Here we have the vampire. Again, he is still in card. And we get to see the card art and also the soft goods and that fantastic face sculpt on this one action figure. This is one of my favorites, the vampire Nosferatu. Again, way to go, Mego. From the 1925 film The Phantom of the Opera, we have Lon Chaney, or Lon Chaney Sr., as the Phantom of the Opera. Again, this is a figure that I have not opened up. I kind of want to keep him in the card the way he is right now. You get to see, again, the soft goods that he is wearing and that face sculpt of the Phantom of the Opera. And then again, the back of the card, which again has the Cheney Entertainment seal, and again some information on Marty Abrams. But I also have, from the same film, another figure that came out, the Mask of the Red Death. Again, here's the Phantom wearing that infamous costume in that movie. The hat comes off, and you get to see the sculpt on this figure. Wearing that red cape, that red suit, red boots. Let's put the hat back on him. The Phantom of the Opera. Now, Mego also produced some Hammer Films action figures. The first one that I'm going to talk about here is from the 1957 film, The Curse of Frankenstein. And we have Christopher Lee as Frankenstein's monster. Here we have hands and the face sculpt. This is Christopher Lee as Frankenstein's monster. Speaking of Hammer Films, in 1958, Hammer releases Dracula. Here I have Christopher Lee as Dracula. This is another great figure. Soft goods cape. All the soft goods that Mego is known for. It's just great. And then we see the sculpt of Christopher Lee. You get to see his eyes, his teeth, his fangs. That look, that trademark look from Christopher Lee as Count Dracula. But not to be outdone, we also have Peter Cushing from the same movie as Van Helsing. So here we have Count Dracula and Van Helsing. Again, good soft goods, nice face sculpt. It does look like Peter Cushing. So here we have Dracula, Hammer Films. In 1933, Universal releases The Invisible Man. And here is The Invisible Man. Such a nice action figure. Again, he's wearing his robe, and his hands are transparent, clear plastic, and also his face sculpt. Here is Universal's The Invisible Man. Another figure that is one of my favorites comes from the 1954 Universal feature, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And here he is. I'm just really love his hand sculpts, his feet. Now, he is wearing a cloth soft goods suit with little fins here, on the legs, here, and on the back. But this is hard plastic, and the sculpt is, to me, I really like the sculpt of the Gill Man, or the Creature from the Black Lagoon. In 1941, Universal releases The Wolfman, starring Lon Chaney Jr. as Larry Talbot, who becomes a werewolf when he is bitten by another werewolf. So here he is, the Wolfman. Again, soft goods. You see his belt, nice shirt, his hands, very interesting hands, and his feet. Also, his face sculpt. Now, the only complaint I have for this figure is I think that the head is a little too small. It could have been a little bigger, but still, overall, still a very nice, very good action figure. The 1931 Universal film Dracula had Bela Lugosi in the title role as Count Dracula. This is also one of my favorite Mego figures. See his hands, his tuxedo, his face sculpt. He's got a nice cape. But also I have the alternate version which came out, and that one, it's the same figure except the cape has a red inside liner, unlike the other figure which had a white liner. Here we have the Lugosi Enterprises seal, which makes this an official Bela Lugosi product. The red liner on the cape. Again, you see Bela Lugosi inside there, and also we get to see the back of the card. Bela Lugosi Dracula. Great figures. The 1931 Universal film Frankenstein. Here we have Boris Karloff as the monster. You can see his hands, his shoes, and the face sculpt. You can also see the bolts on his neck. Boris Karloff as the monster. And I'm going to keep him here because in 1935, we had The Bride of Frankenstein. And we had Elsa Lancaster in that role. And here she is. Again, all soft goods. We get to see the face sculpt. Scars. Here we have Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. Now I have two honorable mentions as well because the movies that these figures came from are more comedies than they are horror, but they still have monsters in them. The first one here is from Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein. We have Gene Wilder as Dr. Frankenstein and Peter Boyle as the monster. Here we have that figure. We have these two action figures right here. And they are great. You get to see some of the detail on these two action figures here as I bring them closer. They're wearing that classic tuxedos from that dance scene that they performed, Putting on the Ritz. In that movie, we have this one here. We have, and this was a part of a 2-pack that was available at Walmart, and it comes with a little special coin there. I haven't opened it. Also, we have from the 1985 film Teen Wolf, starring Michael J. Fox as the Teen Wolf. Here we have the Teen Wolf. And again, let me pull him closer so you can take a look at the details of this particular action figure. These two are honorable mentions in my collection. There you have it, guys. My look at Mego's horror collection. Please note that there are many more figures which did not interest me, so I didn't get them. Please let me know if you have any of these figures, or if you have some that I didn't mention. Either way, let me know what you think of these figures by leaving a comment down below. Having grown up with Mego action figures, I am glad that Mego is alive and well today, and truly glad that I purchased these great figures to add to my collection, and look forward to increasing my collection with more Mego action figures. Thank you for watching, and please do me a favor and like and subscribe to this channel. Ring the notification bell to receive notice of future upcoming videos. So let's add to the action with Action Joe Figs. Happy Halloween.